Hello and welcome to NewsX, and I am Anand Singh, and today I am going to be joined by a very senior leader here in Maharashtra, and says none other than Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray, factions Rajya Sabha MP Priyanka Chaturvedi. So we'll speak to her and understand that what are the issues in this Maharashtra Assembly elections which are very crucial for all the political parties. Priyanka ma'am, first of all, very welcome to NewsX.
Thank you.
This Maharashtra elections this time is not only crucial for the state but also for all the political parties, as Shiv Sena and NCP both have faced the split just 2.5 years ago, and now for the first time they are coming up in the assembly elections. So how you look at the battle?
I think that yes, you're right that it is a very important decisive election for Maharashtra and the direction in which Maharashtra will be taken forward. We have an option in front of us. There is one alliance which has worked in the interest of Maharashtra. We saw that during COVID under the leadership of Uddhav Thackeray ji, which was acknowledged not just by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare in India very grudgingly, but by WHO and United Nations as well. That was the kind of leadership we had when during the peak of COVID, when Davos was held, we got business worth 8 lakh crores for Maharashtra. MOUs were signed by the industries minister and Shri Aditya Thackeray who was accompanying him. So as a delegation, Maharashtra delegation, we managed to do that. Despite COVID, we managed to ensure that people did not become jobless. So that is our story to tell to the people of Maharashtra, that whether it was with vaccination, whether it was with ensuring that everyone was safe and sound, whether it was also ensuring that every single death was reported scientifically and every case was covered and there was no secrets. There weren't dead bodies that we saw flowing in whichever parts of the country, and even journalists, when they did investigative journalism, the numbers, there was a mismatch of actual number of COVID cases versus what was being reported by the governments. So we led our government with absolute transparency. And on the other hand, there is a government which came after undermining the constitution. I don't say it, even the Supreme Court said it, where it questioned even the governor's role in pulling down a government. It has only indulged in corruption, it has indulged in loot, it has indulged in handing over the entire city of Mumbai to one particular industrialist, which have bent backwards to do favors for people who are close to the Delhi government as in the central government. So, and Maharashtra hasn't seen a government which works on the basis of what Delhi expects them to do. We've had independent choices. The first time in the decade, Maharashtra's growth trajectory is reducing at the expense of other states doing better. We don't have a problem with other states doing better, but not at the expense of our state. So this kind of a government, so there are two alliances, clearly, one for Maharashtra's Vikas and one for Maharashtra's Bhrashtachar. And I'm very certain, like in the Lok Sabha, people went with Maharashtra's Vikas, with Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi, Mahavikas Aghadi. They will go with us even in the assembly elections.
As these elections are inching closer, now we are just few days away from the crucial assembly polls here. So what are the main issues in the state that you look that are very crucial and very important for the people of the state over here?
Like I mentioned in my first question itself, opening question itself, that yes, it is a very important election for the people of Maharashtra and of course for our political parties as well. Maharashtra saw how two political parties which were speaking for the people of Maharashtra were broken. Not just broken by undermining constitution as well as democracy, as well as using all the toolkit that you have in your arsenal, which is the EC, ED, IT, CBI, but also getting families to fight against families. So that was an unfortunate part. What are the main issues that we are taking forward? Jobs, jobs and more jobs. We need to ensure that we have a progressive state which has led the development of the nation, a leading state which led the nation towards more success stories. So we have to get that glory back. Second issue is women's safety and security. Third issue is about our MSMEs. Our MSMEs have almost collapsed and so many MSMEs have shut down and they're the biggest employment creators. So how do we ensure that happens? Then our farmers, during our tenure, while I had also told you about the businesses we got, during our tenure, we had forgiven their loans. We had come up with a policy जहाँ पे loan का माफ़ी किया था up to 2 lakh rupees. We didn't do the prachar worth 80 crores, 100 crores to speak about what work we've done. So those are issues that are resonating with the people, whether it is high price of living, whether it's women's safety, whether it is our farmers, whether it is joblessness, whether it is about industries moving away from the state. So those are our issues, and we're going forward with those issues.
Ma'am, we have seen that how during the Lok Sabha election, the Mahavikas Aghadi and especially the Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray ji, it has performed well during the Lok Sabha elections, as out of 21 seats it contested, it won on 9 seats. Now in this election also, the factor that you are looking at, how do you look that Mahavikas Aghadi and the Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray will perform, whether it will be a repeat of the Lok Sabha elections again in assembly polls?
I think we'll do better than our Lok Sabha election results as well. And I don't say it from a point of overconfidence. At no point in time am I saying this from a point where, oh look, we are winning. It doesn't come from that. It comes from a space of people understanding what we are fighting for. People understanding that whatever was happening was against the very ethos of what Maharashtra stands for. 2 days ago, at a Kurla rally, just before Eknath Shinde was to come and speak at the rally, there was a woman who was made to dance to entertain the people. This is not what Maharashtra is about. And the second point is that Uddhav ji, in all the surveys when he was the chief minister, was amongst the most popular chief ministers of the country. There's not one single corruption charge which they have been able to prove. But it has been proven that they have used ED, CBI and IT to put behind bars people who were innocent, but yet helped the Bharatiya Janata Party to come back to power. So, as far as we are concerned, I'm very certain that what we saw in the Lok Sabha was just a trailer, because it also happens to have a national impact. What you're going to see is a Maharashtra impact, where we will release a blockbuster movie of Mahavikas Aghadi on the 23rd of November with the blessings of people, with the trust of the people, and with their faith in us, that we will lead Maharashtra towards its glory.
But even as ma'am, you are confident that people will bless Mahavikas Aghadi, but the Mahayuti on the other hand, that is led by the BJP and definitely led by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde faction of Shiv Sena and NCP, led by Ajit Pawar, they have been accusing the Mahavikas Aghadi partners of misleading the people of the state, and they have been saying that look, we are bringing the development in the state, and they even went on to launch several of the schemes in the state after the Lok Sabha election. So how do you look at this accusation and the launch of the schemes after Lok Sabha polls?
So there's a reason why I don't call them Mahayuti. I call them Mahajhuti. Mahajhuti, who have only served lies to the people of the state, and people of the state know that, they're very well aware. What the scheme that you're talking about, which they have spent over 100 crores in for the PR and for the publicity, is the Ladki Bahin Yojana. When did it come? It came at the back of the loss of a Lok Sabha election. What have you heard their candidates saying and their leaders saying? That if you don't vote for us, we will take this money back. Are you doing us a favor? This is not money coming out of the pockets of Shri Narendra Modi ji's assets and or whatever money that he's managed to earn, where he's seen 130% growth from 2019 to 2025, which is Eknath Shinde. It's not coming out of his pocket or his family assets. It's coming from the taxpayers' money. And people of Mumbai, women on the streets in Badlapur, had hit out at the government saying that take money from us but give us our safety and security, our daughters should be safe. So whatever policies they have introduced, it has failed to enthuse the people of the state. Secondly, they are talking about development. The only development that we've seen in the Mahajhuti Gadbandhan is the development of corruption, development of an industrialist, development of loot, and there is no other development that we have seen. All the projects that they claim that they have done or undertaken are the projects which were conceived by Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji, and would have been completed much earlier than what they're talking about. So they don't have a vision. Their only vision is to loot the state as much as they can. 1 lakh crore worth of government resolutions was signed just within the 10-20 days of elections being announced, despite state finance department saying that you are overspending. There's a debt burden on every citizen of Maharashtra which has gone above the danger mark. So the fiscal deficit target also you have breached. Where will you take Maharashtra? And how much greed will you have to come to power to loot my state? and to loot the very people of the state you say that you're serving. So all those issues are issues which people know, people understand, and whatever they might say, it just doesn't go down well with people.
And even just recently, we saw that how Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, he even while campaigning for his party and his party candidates, he mentioned that how after winning the polls, he is going to increase the amount of the Ladki Behan scheme, and he even made some announcement for providing houses to the poor people here in
What
Maharashtra.
stopped him in this 2.5 years to provide houses to the poor? What stopped him from implementing a Ladki Behan Yojana as soon as he came to power? You know, these are all tactics to think that people do not have a mind of their own to realize that what he's serving is just whole lot of lies to be able to come back to power. I have given you umpteen examples of the amount of debt burden that has increased on my state. It's gone above 1.9 lakh crore rupees. So what are we even talking about? There is no vision on how to create more jobs. You have taken industries away from Maharashtra to other states. The MOUs we signed when we went to Davos during the peak of COVID are industries which are now in other states. The day election was announced in Maharashtra, that very day the Prime Minister of India had gone and inaugurated the Tata Airbus project, which was to come up in Nagpur. Why are their lips sealed? When they're talking about that? And not just Tata Airbus, various other, Vedanta Foxconn. Do you know Vedanta Foxconn was taken away overnight to Gujarat? Vedanta Foxconn hasn't been able to find suitable investors who are convinced that Gujarat is the right place. You've not just let the people of Maharashtra suffer, you've let the nation suffer. And for that, people of Maharashtra are pretty clear that this is not going to work.
But the Mahayuti is rebutting all the allegations that the Mahavikas Aghadi is putting, that all the investment projects have been taken away from Maharashtra to other states. But Milind Devra, who is contesting against your party candidate Aditya Thackeray in Worli, he has mentioned that how Maharashtra has become #1 investment spot across the country and how this state has the maximum traction for investors. So how do you look at the comments that are coming from Mahayuti side?
Again, the Mahajhuti Gadbandhan can continue to do a whole set of lies, but my basic question is, where are the jobs? If you look at all the surveys being carried out in Maharashtra, the biggest concern for any parent, any house, is job. Any government jobs that you have filled, MPSC exams you did not hold, exams that you were to hold would leak. Same problem. You have outsourced the entire examination process to an agency which is close to the government in power, to the Bharatiya Janata Party. How are you managing to not hold them accountable? So, you know, all this glib talk that some people do does not really have an impact on ground. You can ask the farmers of Maharashtra today, are they getting the promised prices? Are they getting compensation for crop damages? Are they getting any relief from the state government? Nothing. They are still agitating for basic, for their crop to get basic amount, for them to be able to continue making it a worthwhile effort to feed the mouths of Indians and Maharashtrians. So it's all a whole lot of humbug. They might say, tell me 5 industries that they've brought into Maharashtra in their tenure. I think you should ask them this question, can you name those 5 industries? I can name several industries that have gone out of my state because this government was busy pleasing the centre and became the darbaris of the centre, then becoming sevaks of Maharashtra.
Ma'am, if we talk about Maharashtra, then the way in which the Shiv Sena was split in 2021. So now we are witnessing a contest between the two factions of Shiv Sena on at least 53 seats in Maharashtra, whereas 16 of them are in Mumbai. So how do you look at the battle in Maharashtra and who will emerge as the real Senapati among these 53 seats?
I don't think elections will tell you, or elections, while I'm very extremely confident, but I can tell you one thing. Whether you take away a symbol, whether you take away a party name, you cannot take away the fact that for every single resident of Maharashtra, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji was the one who was given the responsibility to take the legacy forward of Balasaheb Thackeray ji. In his last Dashera rally address, Vandaniya Hindu Hriday Samrat Balasaheb Thackeray ji had told the people of Maharashtra that I am becoming frail, I am becoming weak, and I am giving this charge to Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji, and you will take care of him just like you took care of me. Aditya Thackeray ji was announced as the Yuva Sena leader, and he was announced in a Dashera rally. And not just with that, he gave his legacy, he gave the responsibility to the Balasaheb Thackeray ji. Then there was a proper election that was conducted in our party. And those office bearers voted overwhelmingly for the Balasaheb Thackeray ji. So I don't need the support of those 40 gaddars who took an AB form from under the leadership of Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray ji, won that election and went on to go on to the other side. I don't need an election commission, state election commission. We should not see a 2/3 split from top to bottom to tell me that the symbol belongs to somebody else. ऐसा है जैसा चोर ने अगर तुम्हारे घर में चोरी की, तुम पुलिस स्टेशन जाकर कहते हो, पुलिस में कंप्लेन करते हो कि भाई साहब हमारा चोरी हो गया है, वो चोरी के सामान ले तो आते हैं पर कहते हैं वो चोर ही है जो संरक्षक होगा इस सामान का. ये तो ऐसे ही हुआ है. So Maharashtra के people will bless us, I am very confident. But I will not reduce my political party and who Shiv Sena belongs to outcome of some election which is overwhelmingly. We are seeing how money, agencies, everything is being used. And we have done that in the Lok Sabha. We have won 9 seats with a new party symbol, with a new party name. We were left with 6 MPs. We went up to 9 MPs. They went with 13 MPs. They reduced to 7 MPs. Bharatiya Janata Party had 23 MPs. They today same number of MPs that they have, 9, as much as we do. Loss हमारा नहीं हुआ है. लॉस उन लोगों का हुआ है जिन्होंने महाराष्ट्र के साथ बेईमानी की है. सो कौन सत्य सेनापति है, कौन निष्ठावंत है, वो जनता ने निर्धारित कर दिया है. ये बार बार मैं इस आर्ग्यूमेंट में जाना ही नहीं चाहूँगी.
Now Priyanka ji, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is also going to make an entry into the Maharashtra Assembly polls as he is all set to come to Maharashtra on 8th of November and also on 9th of November, and he will be addressing several of the public meetings over here. So how do you look to deal with Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he has been the star campaigner of BJP?
A very simple answer to that. We don't need to deal with it. People have dealt with it. Out of the 18 rallies that the Prime Minister did during the Lok Sabha elections, Bharatiya Janata Party lost 16 of them. 18 rallies in 18 places, 16 were lost by the BJP, 2 were won by the BJP. 23 MPs to 9 MPs is the star campaigner's report. So he can come, very welcome to the state of Maharashtra. Maharashtra is a very welcoming state. Maharashtra loves to welcome everyone, but Maharashtra also knows that those who worked against the interests of Maharashtra will have to pay a price. And whether it is Mr. Amit Shah or whether Mr. Modi, they are looked at as two people who led to this entire problem that Maharashtra is seeing in its politics.
In the coming days, several of the Maha Vikas Aghadi leaders will be holding joint campaigns. As one is scheduled on November 6th, where LOP Rahul Gandhi along with Mallikarjun Kharge will be sharing stage with Uddhav Thackeray, Sharad Pawar ji at Mumbai's BKC ground. So how many other such campaigns, joint campaigns have been planned by the Shiv Sena, and how campaigning, what is the campaigning strategy of Shiv Sena here in Maharashtra?
Okay, so elections were announced pretty late in Maharashtra. And the duration that has been given to Maharashtra for campaigning, etc., is very limited. If you see, Bhai Dooj is a very important, Bhau-Beej is a very important festival in Maharashtra. So is Diwali and the New Year, Dhanteras, everything. So our campaign truly begins only after the 4th, after the withdrawals, 4th of November, and the campaign ends on 18th November. So what we have is effectively 2 weeks to organize big ticket rallies. I think from either side of the spectrum is unlikely to happen. But the unity very much through press conferences, through rallies, through whatever we are doing on 6th in Mumbai is a message that we are all united. And I would say that the bigger message is that we spread out to every corner of Maharashtra and take our message of Maha Vikas Aghadi to every home possible and get them to come out and vote in large numbers and vote out such people who work against the interest of Maharashtra is what we are looking at. We are looking at a door-to-door campaign, more public campaign, reaching out to the people campaign, more low-key, not something where you're spending crores and crores of rupees of Maharashtra's hard-earned money in trying to prove a point. So this is one impactful rally, and if we manage to get everyone's dates together, we'll probably have one more before the campaign ends on the 18th.
Yeah, Priyanka ji, in Worli, it's a very interesting fight as Aditya Thackeray, who has been representing the seat from 2019 onwards. Now he is facing Milind Devra from there. Eknath Shinde camp has fielded Milind Devra, who has switched side just ahead of the Lok Sabha polls from Congress to Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena faction. So, is it a strategy by the Eknath Shinde-led camp to corner Aditya Thackeray in his home turf so that he remains busy over there while he could not focus on some other assembly seats across the state?
I'm very surprised you did not mention the MNS candidate Sandeep Deshpande ji.
Yeah.
Who probably has been who has been around Worli, who has been seen and heard in Worli. I'm very surprised. Let's be honest. I'm not going to get into personality clashes here. 2014 and 2019 and 2024 and 2014 and 19, that candidate has lost a Lok Sabha election. And 2024, Arvind Sawant for the third term has become the Member of Parliament from South Mumbai constituency, Lok Sabha. So now coming to the point of Adityaji's campaign. Adityaji is campaigning across the length and breadth of the state. We are contesting 40 seats in the MMR region. Mumbai MMR region is where Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray is contesting 40 out of the 70 seats. You're contesting on 40 seats. For us, it's a very important election. So Adityaji is in and around campaigning for every candidate possible. Worli is a seat during COVID, whether the COVID, no COVID, and as a minister. Adityaji in 2019 won with a margin of above 65,000 votes. And I can say this today, irrespective of who's contesting against him, he is going to beat that target. He is going to get more votes as compared to that particular election. And that in itself should be my answer to the question you asked.
Ma'am, we have also seen that how Mahavikas Aghadi has targeted the Mahayuti government over here after the broad daylight murder of Baba Siddiqui, and now Baba Siddiqui's son Jisan, who represented the Bandra East seat, is pitted against Varun Sardesai, your party member. So how is the contest over there? Will it also be a high profile?
I don't know what is a high profile contest, because every seat is a high profile contest for political parties. Let's be very clear, what happened to Baba Siddiqui ji was very, very unfortunate, and he was a known leader, he was a known face, and I don't see him having any enemies across political spectrum. And his death in broad daylight, his murder in broad daylight, was actually a symptom of what is plaguing Maharashtra, which is a collapsing law and order. Our fight was about the law and order, which has totally collapsed, and we are seeing the return of the Mumbai gang wars. So you had Salman Khan's house targeted, Salman Khan continues to be targeted, he continues to receive death threats. And then the broad daylight murder of Baba Siddiqui ji. Baba Siddiqui ji had moved to NCP Ajit Pawar group several months ago, after which Zishan Siddiqui had voted against the Congress party's official candidate in the Rajya Sabha. So it was a separation that happened long time ago. But that does not take away the fact that yes, he has suffered the consequences of a totally collapsing law and order mechanism in Maharashtra. And for him to contest on a ticket from that very faction, which led to a collapsing law and order, is something people of the area would realize, right? So every seat is a high profile seat. We are very confident that Varun Sardesai ji, by the virtue of his work and by the virtue of what he brings to the table as a candidate, will get the love and affection and the respect and the votes of the people of Bandra East.
My last question to you, as we have seen in last few days that how the campaigning has heated up in Maharashtra, and along with that, some of the controversies also came up, like Arvind Sawant was involved in a controversy over his comments on Sinai NC. And now Sunil Raut, who is also a member of your party, he has also made some comments on one of the candidates of Eknath Shinde-led faction, Mahayuti faction. So, why not keep a tab on such leader before making such controversies?
I'm very grateful that you asked this question, because despite Arvind Sawant not using the word in the context which it was taken, because he made it about all the 12 candidates who are being imported from the Bharatiya Janata Party into the Eknath Shinde faction to be able to contest, is visible to everybody. So saying a local candidate versus an imported candidate is not something that has been unheard of. But a sexist angle was given to it, misogynistic angle was given to it, FIR was filed, and he withdrew his words and he also apologized for it. And I'm glad that someone who is such a senior leader did not want to create any further controversy and his words to be twisted, and he's taken this step. I want to, and the second I will come to later, but I will give you a couple of instances. Sanjay Shirsat, who is a sitting MLA of the Shinde faction, amongst one of the Gaddars who went to the other side, he said Priyanka Chaturvedi got the Rajya Sabha because Aditya Thackeray ji was smitten by her beauty. How disgraceful and disgusting are you, that you think your mindset is only limited to women being in politics because of how they look, how they speak, and men only look at it from that angle? That's perhaps his thought process. Three of their women spokespersons, one of them has gone on to become the MLC, had some dirtiest words reserved for Priyanka Chaturvedi. They've named me and they've tried to character assassinate me. So there are several instances I can give you of Bharat Gogavle ji saying something really mean about our candidate Snehal Jagtap. They are not twisting words, let me tell you. These are straightforward words which have been used against us. About Supriya Sule ji, Abdul Sattar, one of the same Shiv Sena Shinde faction guy, who has spoken nonsense about Supriya Sule. Not a hint of apology has come. I don't know, you've been around for 10 days, right, Anand ji? आपने कुर्ला का वो नाच देखा था, जो भरी सभा में एक महिला को आप नाच नचवा रहे थे अपने वोट के लिए? ये महिला सम्मान है? अब मैं आती हूँ सुनील राउत जी के ऊपर. सुनील राउत जी ने क्या कहा है? सुनील राउत जी ने कहा कि कोई मेरे सामने लड़ने को तैयार नहीं है तो किसी को बलि का बकरा बना दिया है. अरे आपने भी अपनी ये जर्नलिस्टिक जर्नी में कितनी बार कहा होगा, अरे ये तो बलि का बकरा बन गया? हमने कितनी बार ये शब्द का प्रयोग किया है कि किसी को बलि का बकरा बना देंगे, और क्या है? हाउ डू यू कन्वर्ट इट इनटू? उनने एक महिला कैंडिडेट के बारे में बोला, यानी आप जो महिलाओं की सही लड़ाई है ना, अस्मिता की लड़ाई, आप उसको डाइल्यूट कर रहे हो. एक महिला राजनीति में क्यों नहीं आती है? वो ये ट्विस्ट करने से नहीं कि किसी ने उनको बलि का बकरा बोल दिया, वो इसलिए नहीं आती है क्योंकि उन पर इस तरीके के घिनौने आरोप किए जाते हैं, घिनौने शब्द इस्तेमाल किए जाते हैं, उनको आइटम गर्ल बनाकर नचवाया जाता है. आप जिस दिन महिला के सम्मान की बात करते हैं ना, जब आप महिलाओं को अपने असेंबलीज में टिकट्स देंगे, महिलाओं को असेंबली में बिठाएंगे, पार्लियामेंट में बिठाएंगे और उनको कंधे से कंधा मिलकर चलेंगे, ना कि उनको नीचे निगाहों से देखेंगे कि ये तो इसलिए उठी है क्योंकि इसने कुछ किया होगा, तब मैं मानूंगी कि ये आरोप हम पे लागू होते हैं. तब तक मैं ये जो बने बनाए आरोप है ना, इनसे कहिए, इन कैंडिडेट से कहिए, जहां से सुनील राउत जी खड़े हो रहे हैं वहां की 10 गलियां वो कैंडिडेट बता दें, और मुंबा देवी की 10 गलियां वो बता दें, तो हम जान जाएंगे कि इन्होंने काम किया. और वहाँ की जनता ये तय करेगी कि क्या निर्णायक होगा, क्या नहीं होगा. पर मैं कहूँगी, महिलाओं के ऊपर कभी भी अपशब्द होगा. प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी वॉज द वन जो बुल्ली बाई सुली डील्स हुआ था. प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी ने बोला, जब अगर कभी शाइना एनसी के खिलाफ किसी ने गलत शब्दों का इस्तेमाल किया, प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी पहले खड़ी हुई है. प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी ने हर महिला के लिए आवाज़ उठाई होगी. जब नीतीश कुमार जी ने सदन के अंदर कुछ कहा था, जब रेखा शर्मा जी, तब जब बीजेपी के साथ वो नहीं थे, उन्होंने ये आरोप किया था कि प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी क्यों चुप है, प्रियंका चतुर्वेदी ने तब भी आवाज़ उठाई थी जब नीतीश कुमार जी हमारे इंडिया अलायंस के साथी थे. हम इनकी तरह नहीं हैं, पर आप महिलाओं की लड़ाई को कमज़ोर करते हैं जब आप ऐसी चीज़ों को मुद्दा बनाते हैं. ये मैं मानती हूँ, ये बड़ा दुर्भाग्य है.
एंड मैम, हाउ महाराष्ट्र reservation issue and the issue of reservation to OBCs and other castes is going to play in this assembly elections?
देखिए, वहाँ पे तो इन्होंने पूरा नफरत फैलाकर काम किया ही है. पहली बार इतिहास में जो मराठा आरक्षण की मांग कर रहे थे, पीसफुली प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे थे, पीसफुल मांग थी, उनके ऊपर लाठीचार्ज किसने किया? देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी ने, एकनाथ शिंदे ने, जो मुख्यमंत्री और गृह मंत्री के रूप में उन्होंने लाठीचार्ज किया, उन पर लाठियां बरसाई हैं। फिर आपने उनको कुछ वादा कर कर उनको ओबीसी में शामिल किया। फिर उन्हीं के युति के कैंडिडेट ने, एक इंसान लीडर ने उठकर कहा ओबीसी बनाम मराठा किया, जिस वजह से आज हम देख रहे हैं किस तरीके की राजनीति फैली हुई है मराठवाड़ा में। फिर आप करते हैं, फिर आप धंगर कम्युनिटी का आपसे रिजर्वेशन मांगती है तो आप उनको एसटी रिजर्वेशन में डालते हैं, फिर जो बाकी एसटी में शामिल हैं वो विरोध करते हैं। इन्हीं के डेप्यूटी स्पीकर आकर वहां पे जाकर मंत्रालय में जाकर थर्ड फ्लोर से कूद लेते हैं। इन लोगों ने ये जो बात करते हैं ना, बटेंगे तो कटेंगे, इन्होंने महाराष्ट्र में बांटा है लोगों को। इन्होंने कोशिश की है कि बटेंगे तो विपक्ष के वोट कटेंगे। जो डिवाइड एंड रूल ब्रिटिशर्स करते थे वो ये लोग कर रहे हैं और महाराष्ट्र की जनता देख रही है। इसीलिए उन्होंने लोकसभा में एक उनको दिखाया है, एक सबक सिखाया है, पर ये सबक सीखने को तैयार नहीं होंगे तो वो तो मैंने आपको कहा ही है, 23 नवंबर को बम्पर पिक्चर हम लोग जारी करेंगे, रिलीज होगी जनता के प्रेम और विश्वास से।
Thank you very much, ma'am, for sparing time. So this was Priyanka Chaturvedi, who spoke openly on all the issues pertaining to Maharashtra Assembly elections. So thank you very much for NewsX. It's Anand Singh with video journalist Krishna.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.